and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I am starting this vlog on a Tuesday because yesterday I needed to finish off last week's vlog. It was literally one clip, but that was yesterday. And then we had a friend come over and we went for a nice lunch and just kind of had a really lazy afternoon, and my husband wasn't working, so it was nice to actually spend some time with him. So I thought I'd take the pressure off and start this week's vlog today instead. But then today's not got off to a great start either, because I put some old photo frames on Facebook Marketplace last night because I can't hang them in my rental house. Hello, future editing Sophie, just popping in here because, shock horror, I'm behind on editing vlogs, but also I just wanted to add in a bit of context. I think in this whole week of this vlog, my mental health was trash. We'll get to that later. There's more on that to come, don't you worry. But in this moment in particular, what had happened is, like I said, I tried to sell I put some photo frames on Facebook Marketplace because they weren't renter friendly, so I wanted to get rid of them, and I thought, you know what, they're in good enough condition, I'll sell them. So this woman messages me on Facebook Marketplace, and for one, she doesn't have like a real profile. It looks like a company profile, but it's not like a page. It's still a person's profile, but it just looks really fake. So I feel dodged from the off. And she's like, okay, I can come around tomorrow after the school run. She asked for my address, and I think I'm always very cautious with giving out my address on Facebook Marketplace. I want to make sure that the person is definitely serious about buying whatever I'm selling before I actually give them my details. And then the next morning, she then messages me telling me my own postcode is wrong. And I was like, okay. Getting red flags, already feeling a little bit irritated because one, she was late, and I did that thing where I was in waiting mode where she said she was going to be here at a certain time, so I was ready, but then she didn't message me with the whole postcode mishap until after that, so then I was continually waiting. I reckon she was about 45 minutes after the time she told me she'd be here by the time she actually arrived. So she'd already annoyed me by trying to tell me I'd got my own address wrong, and then she came to the door. She left her car running just kind of in the middle of the drive. But she looks at one of the frames, starts kind of fiddling around with it, and then decides it's not worth the money and walks away and just leaves me with these frames. And it sounds really, even saying it now, it feels really stupid to have gotten so upset about it. But she'd already frustrated me by trying to tell me I'd got my own address wrong. And then she wasted my time. She wasted a good chunk of my morning. And then didn't even follow through with what she said she was going to buy. And even, you know, I wasn't asking for $1 million. Why would I say $1 million? That was weird. I wasn't asking for an unrealistic price. They were really reasonable for how much I spent on them originally. And she really annoyed me. And having looked into that more, I don't know if it's a disorder or if it's just a kind of piece of terminology that is often associated with being neurodiverse, but it's called rejection sensitivity disorder, I want to say, but I feel like disorder is the wrong word, but it's a rejection sensitivity. And it's not as simple as, you know, this person doesn't like being rejected, oh no, how pity me, blah blah blah. It's more of, I don't really know how to explain it. I took this screenshot which I felt really well explained it, but it just really sent me spiraling, and it really upset me. And then I got more upset because I was upset, and I was annoyed with myself for being upset, and it just took a good chunk of my day away. And yeah, I spent much of the afternoon on the sofa crying, wishing I was normal. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But in the end, this whole thing just completely derailed my day, and I don't know if I explained it very well. And this clip is now longer than I wanted it to be as well, but that is what happened on Tuesday, and it kind of started a downward trend of the whole week. So I hope that is a bit clearer. And it's ruined my day a little bit, and I feel a little bit like I don't want to do anything, and I just want to go and lie on the sofa and go back to sleep. And that's really stupid, and it's annoying, because I have a lot of things that I want to do today. But either way, I've tried to push through it. I've filmed my TikTok videos for the week. I've tried to bulk film. My phone's storage is almost full as well, so I've been dealing with that. Bulk filming all of my TikTok videos is working really well for me at the moment, so I'm trying to bulk take all of my Instagram pictures as well for the Bookish account to try and keep it alive. So I'm going to take those photos I may or may not film this week's midweek video today because I've got other stuff I need to be doing and I think it's going to take me a while to film. In terms of a reading update, I am currently reading the second book in the Famous 5 series because I feel like I have to explain this whole thing. But when my husband and I got married, we asked our guests to gift us a copy of their favourite books so that we would have a little collection, a little library of our favourite people's favourite books. And we set up our little book club, the Rocket Book Club, last year. So we would take it in turns each month to pick a book, and generally I would read it and he wouldn't. He's not read many of the book club books, but I have. And as an additional challenge this year, my mum gave us a box set of the Famous 5 books, and I was trying to think of a thematic way to read them, but I couldn't, essentially. So I decided that I'm just going to read one a month. I think there's 10 in the box, so I read the first one at the beginning of this month, and I'm going to try and read. I'm currently reading the second one, which I believe is called 5 Go Adventuring Again, and it's also available as an audiobook on Spotify. So it's a good little, I think it's only 4 hours of audiobook. That's where we're at with reading. I'm still listening to the Name of the I'm still listening to The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, because whilst I'm doing lots of co-reading and listening to audiobooks whilst reading the physical book, pure audiobook listening is something that I just haven't made enough time for. That's the reading update. That's the life update. I'll check in again later. I thought this was going to be a bad angle, but it's not as bad as I thought. The focus, however, is awful. Come on, I'm the only thing... Actually, the wall hanging is more worth focusing on, but not the point. Hello. Okay, it's Wednesday evening now. What am I doing? First up, makeup. I'm just getting ready for my ballet class. I should really be prioritising making my dinner right now, but for some reason I've decided to come get changed. Also wanted to show off my pretty leotard. There's not many leotards for ladies my size, but this is the best I've got. And I'm just going to do a little bit of makeup so that the people in my class don't know how bad my mental health is. We're just going to hide it. Every time I do makeup and vlogging, I forget that I can't talk and do makeup at the same time. I'll come back when we're on hair. Hello, just me popping in again because I made an observation while I was editing this video that I just kind of want to highlight here. I feel like when I'm talking in these couple of clips where I'm getting ready for my dance class, I'm incredibly breathy. I don't know if anyone else can hear it as much as I do because obviously I'm more critical of my own voice and editing my own voice, but I feel like I'm really struggling to talk. I feel like you can hear how breathless I am and how tight my chest feels, and I'm just really struggling to communicate at all, and that is a huge sign of how anxious I was on this day. So if everything sounds a bit breathy, I'm really sorry if you find that irritating, but it's just an example of how physically anxious I was feeling in my body. Right, now the makeup's done, we can get on to a bit where hopefully I'll be able to talk at the same time, but not without another hair bobble. There we go, 2 bobbles. I don't really know why I'm filming this because I don't have anything of significance to say, but I'm meant to be doing weekly vlogging, so I felt obliged to at least vlog part of my week. Yesterday was a complete write-off. I think I mentioned in the clip I filmed yesterday morning that I'd been messed around by this woman on Facebook Marketplace, and apparently I was hit super hard by rejection sensitivity and it just completely ruined my day. It feels so stupid to talk about because it's like some woman decided she didn't want to buy something off me on Facebook Marketplace and I just completely spiraled, and it's pathetic, and I know it's pathetic, but that's kind of partially why I want to talk about it, to kind of, I don't suppose normalise it, because I don't think, I'm not deluding myself that I have that much of an impact, but I don't know, I'm trying not to be ashamed of it. It's a thing that happened, and I have a brain that isn't like other people's brains, so I'm trying to not get caught up in it. I think one of the mantras I kept repeating to myself when I was feeling super sad yesterday was that I just want to be normal, and I think the thing is, my brain isn't a normal brain, for want of a better word. It's not neurotypical, so it's not something that's ever going to be true for me. I think is potentially a good way for me to think about that. So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of thinking about what I expect of myself and what's realistic to expect from myself. And today's been another tricky one, but slightly better than yesterday, so at least there's that. And yeah, today has just been another slow one. And yeah, I'm now just doing my hair for my ballet class. I need to go make some dinner before I go. But then also Lucas isn't back from work yet, and he has the car, so obviously I can't leave until he gets back anyway. I need to text him to like give him a little reminder, little nudge to leave work, because it takes him about an hour to drive back. But it should all be fine. Reading update. Let's do a reading update. I've not done an insightful one of those for a while. So I'm currently reading 5 Go Adventuring Again, which is book 2 in the Famous 5 series, and it's on Spotify. So I'm kind of feeling, I don't know if I am burnt out, but I'm feeling kind of too tired to read with my eyeballs at the moment. So the support of an audiobook whilst I'm reading a physical book is really helpful. And I didn't quite have enough Spotify hours left to listen to a full-length novel, but a children's book, I think the Famous 5 is, I think this one's maybe 4.5 hours long, maybe nearer 5, maybe nearer 4, but it's definitely really helpful to have that audio support while I'm reading. And it's another book where I'm enjoying it as much as you can enjoy a children's book as an adult. One of the characters is getting a bit annoying, but I think he's kind of like meant to be, is he meant to be 11 or 12? So he's at that kind of annoying boy age anyway. But yeah, I really don't know where it's going to go. But because I am driving to ballet tonight, that's my weekly audiobook time. So I'll be listening to approximately 50 minutes of The Name of the Wind tonight as I drive to and from ballet. There's one side of my hair done. It's not great, but it'll do. And I need to do the other side, and then I'll tie it into a bun at the back. But my arms ache, so I might genuinely wait and do that after I've made my dinner. That's my life and reading update. We'll catch up tomorrow. Hello, this is a little bit different to how I expected my week to go. I think I previously mentioned that my mental health is pretty bad at the moment. I am struggling without going into too much detail. My husband works in live sports broadcast, so he often spends nights away from home, and this weekend the thought of being at home on my own was too much. And with this job, there was the opportunity for me to come with him. He's working in London this weekend, so it's Friday now, and yeah, I just came in with him when he drove in this morning, and yeah, I just kind of mooched around London today. I went to lots of Bookish spots actually. I went to a bunch of places I've not been to before, so I'll insert the clips of that here, because I took lots of clips of the books that I wanted to buy but didn't. So here's a nice big montage of books. While we were driving in this morning, we saw a poster for a comedian we both like called Phil Wang, who's doing, I think, the end of his tour, like his tour finale, tonight in London. And we were like, oh, should we see if there are any tickets? And there was, so we very spontaneously bought tickets to that. So it's currently 20 to 5. I'm just waiting for him to come back from work, and then we're gonna get the Underground back into Central to go watch some comedy, which will be nice. And then he doesn't have to be at work till 1 tomorrow, so we're going to spend the morning together. Then I'm going to mooch around London a bit more. I think I'm going to have one of those romanticising my life days where I just go and read in lots of nice places. I don't know what the weather's meant to be like. It's a bit grim at the moment, but who knows what tomorrow will be like. And then I think I'm just going to get on a train home because he's not due home until about 1 AM. So I think I'm going to hop on a train about 8 PM, which is when the football game starts anyway. So hopefully it'll be a bit quieter. And yeah, then I'll just hop on the train, get the bus. It's been really nice. I've just been listening to my audiobook whilst I've been walking. I've done over 10,000 steps today, which is a lot more than I usually do if I'm at home. Yeah, I'm trying to make the most of a situation that has only arisen because of my bad brain. It's weird because I don't want to, you know, like air my dirty laundry on the internet, but also I think it's worth sharing when you're struggling because it is very normal and these things happen, and it's not something I can control. I've controlled all of the factors I can control. I'm doing all the right things. There's just certain aspects of my life I don't have the right support in, and I'm working on that, just kind of taking each day as it comes. Today's been quite nice. And this evening's going to be nice. Tomorrow morning's going to be great with my husband. Then I'm going to have another little romantic day to myself. Now I'm just going to slouch here and become one with the sofa until Lucas gets here. And then we're off into Central. Didn't end how I wanted it to at all. As you saw on Friday, I had a lovely day out, took myself on a little Bookish date day, and then, you know, went back to the hotel, met Lucas, then we went out to watch a comedy gig. We went to see Phil Wang at the Apollo, and it was really nice. And I think partially what I did was I did too much on Friday, so then on Saturday I woke up already feeling a bit on edge, and then stuff happened. I ended up having a complete meltdown, and I think at first I was hesitant to talk about this and how to explain that Saturday just kind of didn't happen. It didn't go how I wanted it to go at all. I think the thing with autistic meltdowns is a lot of people will assume that it is like a child having a tantrum, because a lot of autism stereotypes are associated with children anyway. There's a whole thing about infantilizing, that's the word, people with autism, because people just can't comprehend that children with autism grow up to be adults with autism and autism doesn't go away. I think there's an element that's assumed with a meltdown where the autistic person is doing it for attention or doing it to get something, associating it with a temper tantrum that a toddler might have. But an autistic person having a meltdown is an autistic person in crisis. And I just couldn't function. I was inconsolable. Every solution to everything that Lucas suggested, there was something wrong with it. There wasn't a perfect solution for anything that was upsetting me except time travel. So it was really hard to feel so upset and like there was no solution to anything. So we ended up coming home. Lucas drove me home and we spent the rest of the day very quietly just kind of recovering, because the other thing with a meltdown is it is exhausting. Having any kind of big emotional outburst is exhausting, but particularly for autistic people. So that was really hard, and I feel weird about talking about it on the internet, but that is what happened. I had a meltdown and I had to come home. So my lovely Saturday plans were foiled. Yeah, clearly I didn't really fancy vlogging in that state. So that's what happened on Saturday. Oh dear, I felt that sneeze coming. and I try to get the words out anyway. Yeah, Saturday didn't go as planned. Sunday we had a very quiet day. We went into town, went for a walk, and then just kind of had a freezer dinner that didn't involve any real cooking. I feel better now. Of course the battery died, but what I was saying is I'm still very much trying to give myself the grace and the time to recover from that event, that emotional event, and I'm trying to figure out a plan moving forward to try and alleviate as much of that stress as possible, because I've felt low and like burnt out for a really long time and I can't find any reason for it. So I need to, yeah, something has to change. I just haven't figured out what yet. So that's tough, but this is meant to be a reading vlog. So just to wrap it up, reading updates. I did finish reading The Famous Five at some point this week. Whilst I was walking around London on Friday, I listened to over 2.5 hours of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and I don't think I've hit the 50% mark yet, or I've only just hit the 50% mark, can't remember which. And then I started reading Revolution by Jennifer Donnelly, but I've barely made a dent in that. I've just done the maths on how many pages I need to read a day to finish it before the end of the month, and it's over 100 pages a day, which is not normal for me. So we'll see whether I make it through that. But that's the reading update. Currently reading, I'm still working on The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which I have been listening to for over a month now. So it's been a challenge to finish that one. And I've just started Revolution by Jennifer Donnelly. Thank you for watching whatever this vlog turns out to be. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye!